6:45, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The morning news edited by Danushka Madhavala, read by Soundithavam. The government has focused its attention on limiting calling of public servants for duty. The Commissioner General of Examinations says that all arrangements have been made to provide transport facilities to the students sitting for the GCE O-level examination. The Minister of Power and Energy has requested the general public to refrain from waiting in queues to obtain petrol as supplies are unavailable today. The Prime Minister's office to cut expenditure by 50%. The Ceylon Chamber of Commerce officials met with the leaders of several key political parties. The President emphasizes that the war heroes will not be forgotten under any circumstances. In foreign news, the UN warns that Ukraine invasion could cause global food crisis. The government has focused its attention on limiting calling of public servants for duty. It also paid attention on allowing the state employees to work from home according to the needs. The Commissioner General of Essential Services has requested the Ministry of Local Government Administration to call only essential staff for work without disrupting duties. The Commissioner General of Examinations says that all arrangements have been made to provide transport facilities to students without any hindrance on the days of the GCE ordinary level examinations, even though transportation has been disrupted due to fuel shortages. Commissioner General L.M.D. Dharmasena made this observation addressing a media briefing held at the auditorium of the Government Information Department yesterday to educate teachers and students regarding the conduct of the GCE ordinary level examination. The Sri Lanka Transport Board has decided to deploy Sisusariya buses and additional buses for this purpose, he said. The Commissioner General of Examinations further said that normal train services will be operated for students to and from the examination centres. Speaking further, the Commissioner General of Examinations stated that despite the crisis, all preparations have been made to hold the GCE ordinary level examination from Monday to June 1st. Meanwhile, lectures and tuition classes for the examination should end at 12 midnight tomorrow. All the examination admission forms have already been issued and the school candidates can obtain their admission cards from the school. He said 590 children with special needs have applied this year and they will be provided with the necessary facilities. 517,496 candidates, including 407,129 school candidates and 110,367 private candidates, are sitting for the GCE ordinary level examination this year. The exams will be held at 3,844 examination centres, while 542 coordinating centres have been established. The Minister of Power and Energy, Kanchana Wijesekara, has requested the general public to refrain from waiting in queues to obtain petrol as supplies are unavailable today. Giving an update on the fuel stocks available in the country during yesterday's parliamentary session, the lawmaker pledged to resolve the issue this weekend. However, Minister Wijesekara said diesel will be supplied continuously as sufficient stocks are available. There is an issue regarding the availability of petrol volumes, the minister noted, adding that a vessel carrying a petrol consignment has been docked in Sri Lankan waters since late March, but the shipment could not be cleared owing to the US dollar shortage in the country. There is a payment of $53 million due for the same vessel from a previous shipment delivered in January 2022, he further said. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Prime Minister's Secretary Saman Ekanayake has decided to cut the expenditure of the Prime Minister's office by 50%. Quote, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe is of the view that his office should cut spending and set an example to other public officers in the face of an economic crisis, unquote, an official of the Prime Minister's office said. He hoped that other public officers will follow suit. 26 employees who were attached to the Prime Minister's office have been sent to their original places of work and 16 vehicles which were taken over by the Prime Minister's office have been returned. It is reported that the Secretary to the Prime Minister is also planning to cut costs by performing the duties of the Prime Minister's office with a skeleton staff and limited resources. The Ceylon Chamber of Commerce officials met with the leaders of several key political parties during the last 4 days to discuss the serious economic and political challenges faced by the country. Among the leaders were Sajith Premadasa, the leader of the opposition and SJB, Anurakumara Disanayaka, the leader of the JVP, M.A. Sumandiran, the leader of the TNA, and Rauf Hakim, leader of the SLMC, along with many other parliamentarians from these parties. During the detailed discussions that took place at these meetings held separately, the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce described the rapidly deteriorating condition of the economy and business environment and requested the political parties to work together with the interim government to address the key economic challenges which could easily take the country towards a humanitarian crisis if not resolved soon. The Chamber emphasized the importance of having a stable government in place to finalize the staff-level agreement with the IMF and to appoint financial and legal advisors to proceed with the debt restructuring process. That concludes local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has emphasized that the war heroes who protected the motherland's freedom and territorial integrity will not be forgotten under any circumstances. Issuing a message in connection with the War Heroes Day, the President has said that the immense sacrifices made by the war heroes will be recalled on the National War Heroes Day. The President has pointed out that the policy on the country's sovereignty and freedom will not be taken lightly. The President's message has stated that safeguarding the motherland remains above all other matters and came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
This is Watchlight.
The National Water Supply and Drainage Board says the water supply for several areas in Colombo will be interrupted for 10 hours on Saturday. Accordingly, Colombo 12, 13, 14 and 15 will be affected by this water cut. The Water Board says the water cut will be in effect from 10 p.m. on Saturday until 8 a.m. on Sunday. Meanwhile, the water supply to Colombo 1 and 11 will be under low pressure during this period. The water cut is being imposed due to the essential upgrades to the water distribution system under the Greater Colombo Water and Wastewater Management Improvement Investment Programme and came to you in Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
Making headlines this morning, the UN warns that Ukraine invasion could cause global food crisis. A study says pollution killed 2.3 million Indians in 2019. China-Eastern plane clash, likely intentional, US reports say. Russia's invasion of Ukraine could cause global food shortages in the coming months, the UN has warned. Secretary General Antonio Guterres said the war had worsened food insecurity in poorer nations due to rising prices. The world could face famines that last for years if Ukrainian exports are not restored to pre-war levels, he added. The conflict has cut off supplies from Ukraine's ports, which once exported vast amounts of sunflower oil as well as cereals such as maize and wheat. This has reduced the global supply and caused the price of alternatives to soar. Global food prices are almost 30% higher than the same time last year, according to the UN. Speaking in New York on Wednesday, Mr. Guterres said the conflict threatens to tip tens of millions of people over the edge into food insecurity, followed by malnutrition, mass hunger and famine. Pollution led to more than 2.3 million premature deaths in India in 2019, according to a new Lancet study. Nearly 1.6 million deaths were due to air pollution alone, and more than 500,000 were caused by water pollution. The latest Lancet Commission on Pollution and Health report blamed pollution for 9 million, or about 1 in 6 deaths globally. It said India, where bad air kills more than 1 million people every year, remained among the worst affected. Flight data indicates a China Eastern Airlines plane that crashed in March was intentionally put into a nosedive, according to US media reports. Investigators have so far not found any mechanical or technical faults with the jet, the reports say, citing a preliminary assessment by US officials. The Boeing 737-800 was flying between the southern Chinese cities of Kunming and Guangzhou when it crashed. All 132 passengers and crew on board the plane died in the crash. Back to the headlines of the world news. The UN warns that Ukraine invasion could cause global food crisis. A study says pollution killed 2.3 million Indians in 2019. And China Eastern plane crash likely intentional, US reports say. That concludes this bulletin of world news, and on to development news. A dengue eradication week has been declared from today to the 24th by the National Dengue Eradication Unit. More than 20,800 dengue patients have been found during the past few weeks. 3,086 of them have been identified this month. The director of the unit, consultant Dr. Sudat Samaravira, said that 44% of the dengue patients have been identified in the Western Province and came to you in development news.
Sports news is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Quinton de Kock claimed the third highest score in the Indian Premier League history as Brendan McCullum lost his last game as Kolkata Knight Riders coach before taking charge of England. Lucknow Super Giants posted 210 for no loss as de Kock hit 140 not out, smashing 10 fours and 10 sixers from 70 deliveries. It made de Kock and KL Rahul, who made 68 not out from 51, the first opening pair to bat throughout an IPL innings. Yet Kolkata fell just short of victory, losing by 2 runs in the final over. Only record holder Chris Gale and McCullum have bettered the score of South Africa's de Kock in an IPL innings. Gale hit an unbeaten 175 for the Royal Challengers Bangalore in 2013, and McCullum scored 158 not out for the Kolkata Knight Riders in the first IPL match in 2008. On to soccer news. Rangers suffered an agonising penalty shootout defeat in their 5th European final as Eintracht Frankfurt triumphed in an absorbing Europa League decider. Rafael Borre crashed in the decisive spot kick after Aaron Ramsey was denied just moments earlier in front of a colossal Rangers support in the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan Stadium. Those fans had been euphoric when the Scots took the lead through Joe Aribo's ice-cool second-half finish in the sweltering cauldron in Seville. And that concludes sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
According to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, the US dollar remained unchanged for the second consecutive day yesterday. The selling rate of the US dollar remained at 364.63, the rate that was also reported on Friday, the 13th of May. However, the rupee depreciated against the euro and the sterling pounds. The CBSL added that the rupee remained steady against several other foreign currencies and came to you in business news. Economic news up next.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Lanka IOC says that certain messages being circulated alleging that it has increased fuel prices are completely false. The company said that there is no increase in LIOC fuel prices as claimed by certain messages circulating on various social media platforms and came to you in economic news.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital digital banking. LOLC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
The weather report.
The southwest monsoon has established over the island. Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the western, Sabragama, central, northwestern and southern provinces. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters can occur at some places in the Sabragama province and in the Kandy, Nuwara, Gaul and Matara districts. Several spells of showers will occur in the northern province and in the Anuradhapura district. Strong winds about 40 to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the western slopes of the central hills, northern, north central and northwestern provinces and in the Hambantota and Trincomalee districts. To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. The government has focused its attention on limiting calling of public servants for duty. The Commissioner General of Examinations says that all arrangements have been made to provide transport facilities to the students sitting the GCE O-level examination. The Minister of Power and Energy has requested the general public to refrain from waiting in queues to obtain petrol as supplies are unavailable today. The Prime Minister's office to cut expenditure by 50%. The Ceylon Chamber of Commerce officials met with the leaders of several key political parties. The President emphasizes that the war heroes will not be forgotten under any circumstances. And the UN warns that Ukraine invasion could cause global food crisis. That concludes this morning's news broadcast.